And welcome to another Tom and Shane podcast. Well, we've got a big topic for you today, Shane. Courts kill the vaccine mandate.
Well, Eagle Man, you picked a great vaccine color. I like it.
Yeah,
It's like red and you're dead.
yeah, that's it. That's what we've got. I guess Shane, the question of the day is, what's wrong with the mandate? Aren't we protecting people? Isn't this public health? Shouldn't we relax a little bit and say, yeah, it's in the best interest of all of us to be vaccinated. Shouldn't we be
Well, it's not
mandated?
in this case, it's not a policy choice. They're trying to make it a policy choice. They're losing on making this a policy choice politically. And that's because it's a personal choice. And it's the demolition party that made this personal with abortion. And my body, my right. The state can't tell me what to do with my body. So since Roe versus Wade, I hate to bring it up this way, but to make the parallel, the American people have heard this, for 50 years. The right for a woman to choose. Well, then why doesn't everyone have the right to choose? It's like Black Lives Matter. Well, Hispanic lives matter, and Italian and Irish and white and Asian and Chinese and East Indian. I mean, every life matter, right? So in this case, it's a personal choice now that's become the political baseball, and the demolition parties, of course, totally missing the point, because two things people vote on more than anything: local issues. Everything's personal, local, right?
Mm-hmm.
Personal. People
Mm-hmm.
vote on stuff personal that personally affect them. So, boy, did they bite off a piece of bone here to chew on.
Yeah. Well, Shane, you got to admit though that lots of things are mandated by the government. We got seatbelts, we got speed limits, airlines, education. I mean, you're not going to tell me the parents know better than the school as to what the kids should be taught. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but the point of this is conditioning. Nobody wanted to stand in line at the airport. 9/11 happened. The government convinced everyone that the terrorists could do this again. People through the 70s and 80s had seen plane hijackings take place, how they evolved. They even included ships and the Jewish man in a wheelchair being pushed off a ship. So, people become conditioned. And, it was a very fearful thing that happened on 9/11. They passed the Patriot Act, and then they set up the TSR in your country. Well, boy, it put 4 million people to work for the government, or a million people, whatever it is. And it's never been abated. It's never been pulled back. Little old ladies in wheelchairs have to be searched. I mean, like, it's the same thing here. All right. People have been conditioned. My body, my choice, personal choice, leave me alone. So,
Mm-hmm.
can they mandate it? Yeah, in certain circumstances, the only vaccine that was ever mandated was polio, reasonable cause. And so, it's one of these situations where now they're down to so many virulent types. There's so many other therapeutics, and they know they're lying to the public that this is not a vaccine. There's no virus in it. It's new science, and it's a therapeutic. But
Mm-hmm.
now they're going to replace it with a pill, and then all will be fine. Dun, dun,
Well,
dun.
we'll see, I guess. Well, I know when I went to Vietnam, I didn't have much choice. You line up and they jab they have the guns then, the stupid gun that blasts about 16
I was going to
yellow
say,
fever and diphtheria and
exactly.
malaria and everything else into you in one shot.
Yeah, First Sergeant Pincushion Eaglehawk.
Right, yeah. That's what it was, man. It was. Well, yeah, and that's an example there where everybody says that kids should be mandated measles shots, polio, smallpox, whatever. Uh,
In your country, even older people still want to have the choice. I mean, of course. What I mean, isn't that the way you see it?
mhm.
If older people in your country are just as upset about this not being a choice
Yeah.
as younger people.
Well, the other thing too, Shane, I think these vaccines that we've had in the past, for measles and polio and everything else. They weren't popped onto the market in 9 months from start to finish. I mean, many of them were years of testing of people. They were the side effects were greatly watched and monitored. And I think a lot of people fear that this just came out really fast, and we got two or three of them all of a sudden. Which one's the best to take? No one knows for sure.
Well, and the other
And
problem that you had too is in the past there was one.
yeah,
So, I mean, do you believe the efficacy of these therapeutic shots they want to give children is right? Should they be using children in your country as a guinea pig?
yeah. Well, that's what a lot of parents think. They don't know. Uh, people are afraid that this has all happened so quickly that we don't know the downstream ramifications of taking this thing. It's probably
Because it's new
it's probably
science. Yeah,
safe. It's probably safe.
probably,
But
but it's new science, and it took 100 years to develop a vaccine from the virus. And the fact is, that the new science that you would think it would have taken a similar amount of time, which is 4, 5, 7 years. Now
Mhm.
they're making a big thing about this. What do I call it? I call it the Omicron. When instead of talking about the science of it, New England Medical Journal is bringing up 3 different articles. Efficacy of the therapeutics again it are good.
Mhm.
It's not that transferable, and it's not that lethal. But the most important thing, it's very weak. And historically, there was a great article about the historical references to diseases, just back, viral diseases, and the fact that they mutate to stay alive, but the more they mutate, the weaker they get. So you really want to get the older and older and older ones, because it's sort of like backing up. You sort of want to get this back. If you want to get the the definitive variant, this is the one you want to get, because it's going to make you the strongest.
Yeah.
Without affecting you, because it's and you get to herd immunity, which is why man survived. But no one wants to talk about that.
No, they
Man,
don't.
they're all mixed up in billions to Pfizer and Moderna, and it's a very sad situation.
Well, it's also it comes down to a lot of people don't trust these pharmaceuticals, that they're just in it for the buck,
Well,
not
they
in it
are.
to help. Well,
They
they are.
are.
Yeah, yes. Well, can't put lipstick on that pig, can we?
No, you can't. Hey, you do know they're public, right?
That's it. That's it, man. That's where we are. Shane, we got a comment. I have no idea what this means, but maybe you can translate it. I have no idea what that means.
I have no idea. var dot tech
Yeah,
page.
tech. So I don't know.
Maybe
So
that's a
anyway,
stock or.
well, I'm happy Marilyn's here. So
See, I do want to comment, because us people of the Great White North, we always get laughed at. So it looks like Canada is going to come in as a whopping second place as the largest manufacturer of the oral treatment for this disease, this the COVID and the variants.
mhm.
Pfizer's picked a company, Moderna's picked, and both of them in Canada. And why not?
Yeah,
Why not? Think of it. We're at 128. I mean, almost 130 the US dollar, right?
yeah.
How much
This
they're going to make 30% more selling it, right? Selling it. I mean, it's like it's laughable. I mean,
I don't
because they
know.
won't. They'll leave the money in Canada. They won't convert it to US, right? Because
Yeah, no, they'll leave the money there. Yeah,
yeah.
you're right. So, hey, if you're just joining us, don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell. You'll always be notified when we have a new podcast. Like us, leave a comment, and let us know what you think about the show. And also, we do this with StreamYard. We highly recommend it. It's easy to use, and there's a link in the description below. And also, if you'd like to support the show, we have a Patreon link down there. You can monetarily help us out with the expenses of putting this thing on, and we would appreciate that very much. So all of that is in the description below. And
Now, I have a question. I have a
sure.
question. Don't you think that the attitude during the campaign last year of Harris and O'Biden, commenting on the the therapeutic shot,
Mhm.
I'm not going to use the word "be." Okay, I'm going to stay away from it. But remember, their comments was, "Well, if this was created by Donald Trump, I'm not going to take it."
Yeah.
And I mean, they blasted that across
Mhm.
every. There wasn't anyone on the planet that didn't hear Biden and O'Biden and laughing Harris, the hyena Harris. And so right out of the bat, that they
Mhm.
discredit it too. But they don't take the media doesn't give obfuscate them. Would you not agree?
Yeah. No, I think that's very true that a lot of people, and I think that's probably still true. I think a lot of people still associate these various vaccines with Trump,
Hmm.
and which is a sad thing that they are. But that's as you point out, rightly so. It was all over the media. They were drummed into your heads that this isn't science. This is Trump. You're injecting bleach. You're injecting insecticide or whatever. So yeah. So I think a lot of people, rightly so, took that to heart. And do you think the courts are overstepping? Are the courts getting too involved in our lives, Shane, as to what we can or can't do? And I don't know. Have they gone
Well,
too far?
yes, they have to. Look,
Mhm.
it's the third arm of your government, your constitution, your way of life. They're forced into this corner. The partisanship is so bad. The Congress can't get stuff done unless it's an emergency, and they're not going to get paid. They're not going to do anything. So they're forcing the judicial system to make constitutional opinions, and I do believe they're constitutional opinions, because people have a right to sue. Now, remember, two types of lawsuits. There's a criminal lawsuit, all right, and there's a personal lawsuit. So a lot of these lawsuits are personal; they're not criminal. It's someone suing the government, or a state suing the government, or business suing the government, whether it's state, federal, or local, and it moving up the ladder, to get pronunciation on it, because they keep appealing it no matter what the decision, until they get maybe a decision that they like. Well, now three different federal judges have said these mandates are not legal, and it's not just the one mandate. One mandate is for all people to get this therapeutic. Another one's a mandate for companies with more than 100 people to get the therapeutic, and another mandate says no exemptions. So
Mhm.
all three of those are under attack and being decided by the court, because the Congress won't legislate it.
Yeah.
And is the problem, if the Democrats legislate this, it moves from policy to
Mhm.
law. Wow, now you wear it. It's like wearing a Olympic medal. Like, who's going to want to win an Olympic medal in China in February next year, and come home wearing it? Like,
Yeah.
why are they going? It's sick that they're going, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't know. The jury's still out on that, I think. But yesterday the Senate did reject the mandate in the Senate. They
yes,
voted
that's right. That's what I'm saying.
52 to
Yeah,
48. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
to get rid of that.
Which is an important vote, because that
Mhm.
tell you that Build Back Better's dead.
Yeah, well, that's probably pretty true. So, well, the last question I guess we need to talk about is where do we go from here, Shane?
Saturday morning, baby.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about this in more detail on our radio show Saturday morning. If you look at the crawl going across the bottom of your screen, there's all the information you need to listen to us on Saturday from anywhere in the world. You can call us, you can text us, you can, you don't have to sign up for anything, no personal information needed. And, it's just we have a fun show on Saturday, 3 hours of limited commercial interruption. And so we like it very much if you would share that with your friends and join in and join our little family here of the voice of reason. We hope we are, at least.
That's
We
right.
try to.
That's right.
So there we are.
Well, while we're talking about these mandates, another critical issue here too with regard to these mandates is,
Mhm.
Biden instituted a couple of them by executive order.
Yeah.
And so, this now puts in play the power of the presidency. Like, how much direct power does the president have? And can he mandate something by a presidential order, which then gives free rein to governors to basically act as princes, or nobles to the president?
Mhm.
And this is good stuff. It's good constitutional law. It's 21st century law. And this is a learning moment for Americans because, ever since the whole issue with school and Zoom calls and parents realizing what their kids were being taught, Americans are really paying. I mean, they were paying attention with Trump because, people say they hated his tweets. That's a crock. What a bunch of bullshit. Everybody loved Trump's tweets. I mean, especially the media. It was a laugh. I used to get up every day.
They certainly let us know when he was tweeting and what he was tweeting. Then
Right.
Oh, that's misspelled. Oh my God, that's this, that's that.
I mean, Eagleman, didn't you used to always get up every day and turn on the TV to see if it's going to, shit in a basket? And then during Trump, you turn on the TV to say, what did he say last night in 2 a.m, right?
Yeah, that's it. And it's still going on. Everything I see on Facebook, the left is Trump, 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 Trump. Nothing about Biden. Nothing about Biden's successes or
nothing to talk about.
Yeah, well, so I guess all we can talk about is Trump then. So I've never seen such fear of a politician in my lifetime. Reagan would probably be the closest, I guess.
That's right.
And it would have really been interesting to see Reagan with Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Spotify and all the other media out there, what they would have done with Reagan.
And when you talk about policy and this whole issue with this mandate, it's incredible to see a president who is so counter to what they accuse Trump of, but we know that from projection. They always accuse you of what they're guilty of. But the example here is that 2 federal judges said that Biden's administration had to reinstitute the return to Mexico plan that was set up by Trump, and that was 2 months ago, and they continue to allow people to come, didn't institute it, and when a federal judge makes a ruling like that, it's supposed to be instantaneous. It's not like, we're going to take 2 months to institute it, and so. Yeah. They're flagrantly ignoring the third arm of your government when they want to. And people, you need to see it that way. No one talks about it because it's so bad. I mean, this is an impeachable offense because the President of the United States, one of his 5 jobs is he's the chief enforcer of the law. Okay, that's one of his major jobs. Right. And he's just ignoring it. So he could be impeached for that, literally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
could. But there's like a half a dozen reasons to impeach him now. Hey Thomas, give us 2, all right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That call with Xi may come back and bite him. Maybe that'll be
the call with Putin.
Yeah. Hey, listen, don't forget to subscribe. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe. Ring that notification bell. Like us, leave a comment below. We would really like for you to join our family here, Tom and Shane. We're here every Tuesday and Thursday with commentary on business, politics, whatever, is going on. They all seem to run together. Business and politics kind of go hand in hand, Shane. And
that's right. They do.
We're talking today about the pharmaceutical business and how the courts are relating to that. And, boy, it's you're exactly right when you mentioned a while ago about the courts and Biden kind of ignoring, the stay in Mexico policy.
That's right.
And that's what we're looking at here. Can the courts really shoot down a mandate if it's good for public health, or are they siding with the people that, hey, it's my choice. If I want to get vaccinated, I will. If I don't, if I die, it's my deal. It's not the court's deal. It's not the government's deal. It's my deal.
Yeah, and real quick, just context. The government's position is we don't have to enforce it because we're appealing your decision. Well, that's not true in this case, in the way the government or the judges wrote it up. Real quick, before we go on, I know we're almost out of time. I just want to put this out there because it's got to be said. No one's saying it. All right, listen, Ukraine and Russia. Yeah. This is simple. AMRAAM missiles that are shoulder mounted, and you blow up any tank, personal carrier, or truck. Javelin missiles blow up any plane, any tank, any helicopter. Okay, solve the problem. Send 1,000 javelins, 1,000 AMRAAMs. The Americans already have over 200 troops in Ukraine right now. Go into the field and test fire some of them towards the line of the Russians, so that they know they have them. And okay. The Taiwan Straits. China's not going after Taiwan. Foolish measure, but to assure it, send in 3 aircraft carriers and 75 support ships. Fly your F-16s, F-21s, and everything else you got on the deck up and down the Taiwan Strait. And, point your engines at China so they can hear them, okay? Solve those 2 problems. Not an issue. They're out there anyway, meaning, the javelins, the AMRAAMs, and the fleets. Come on, wake up, Biden. Do something.
Well, I think Xi is going to be looking at Russia and the Ukraine very closely to see how Biden reacts if they do invade. If Biden sits on his hands.
No invasion with 1,000 AMRAAMs, 1,000 javelins.
Nothing. Well, that's a war. That's a war.
No,
well, it is. Whether or not
he's not sending in tanks and trucks filled with men that'll get blown up the minute they will come across the border and fired from the Ukrainians.
You may have the answer, but I don't know what they've got over there to defend themselves with. I know they're battle-hardened troops because they've been in war for the last 2 years or whatever. So they're no stranger to being in war. So we'll just see how that goes. And we're kind of going astray from our topic today.
But don't you think the Biden's in a box? I mean, his son took all that money. I mean,
he is in a box. He's in a box with both countries, no question about it.
He's got the mayor of Moscow on one side, his wife, and then he's got the Ukrainians on the other side.
So
let's play checkers. Come on, boys.
Well, we'll be talking about it if an invasion does in fact happen between Russia and the Ukraine. We'll certainly be talking about it. And if Xi, if Russia goes in there and rolls over the Ukraine, Xi might think, hey, Biden didn't do much. He didn't get these guys, give them the backing they needed. So I'm taking Taiwan.
Oh yeah, for sure, Taiwan. There's no way that the Chinese are, I don't care how many mini boats, float boats, little boats, little cruisers, little destroyers. No, the stuff in Taiwan is, I mean, all their planes are inside mountains. I mean, they've got, oh my gosh, and they got entrances on both sides of the mountain. If one side gets blown up, they can fly out in 2 or 3 directions. I mean, they got this thing locked and loaded.
Yeah. All right. That's going to wrap it up for us today. Hey, thanks everybody for listening. We really appreciate you taking the time to sit here with us, and thanks for your comments and all of that. I apologize to Bob. Comments just too long to put up. It would cover the whole screen. So, we love comments, but keep them kind of succinct a little bit so that we can get them on there. So we really appreciate that. So. All right. Hey, don't forget that we are on Saturday on radio, and in the crawl below, you see the go to kmmsam.com, and also past shows. You can listen to our past shows at kmmsam.com. Click on Tom and Shane's podcast, and that'll take you to a link over to where our podcasts are located, and almost 7,600 downloads, I think, of our shows, Shane. So. We really appreciate the support everybody out there gives us. So we hope that you'll become a part of our family and subscribe and tune in on a regular basis. So, all right, Shane, we will talk to you on Saturday and see you next Tuesday. So,
looking forward to it always. Merry Christmas, Elon.
There you go. All right. Thanks for watching.